Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden. So we're continuing, Ed. And his latest is talking about how central banks' digital currencies will ransom our futures. And the decentralization of, um, yeah, the U.S. Treasuries, this mint the coin, exactly what
Right.
they're talking about. Joe Firestone's been talking about that a lot. I know that there's been some talk about it. But there's also like this whole thing about Fed coin, not even minting the coin. The mid coin is really minting the coin is just to pay down the debt and to make sure that we
Yeah.
don't have debt ceiling stuff. But this is the subject of this speech, CBDCs, which aren't unfortunately some new form of
Some
cannabinoid,
new form of cannabinoid.
right? But an
Nice.
acronym for central bank digital currencies, which is the digital yuan. And yeah, China's already announced one. Excuse me. Nigeria in October will roll out the e-naira. And it is not, as Wikipedia will tell you, a digital dollar. And here's the difference: the indirect versus direct versus hybrid CBDCs. This is really fascinating stuff. And if Edward's raising the alarm, there's a good reason for it. For thousands of years prior to the advent of CBDCs, money was generally, that we represent with physical tangible objects that we call currency has chiefly embodied in the form of coins struck from precious metals. Okay, so again, he's going to go into the history of currency and money and showing how little metal is actually involved. And at this point, it's really just a
Yeah.
perceived value and it's numbers on a ledger one way or another. And that's essentially
Uh,
what we're getting into, MMT.
yep.
And I don't know where Edward stands on position wise on
When you get
MMT.
into
I mean,
this
look, this guy worked for Booz Allen
sovereign
Hamilton.
currency,
Um, once currency is understood, it's a short hop from napkin to network. The principle's the same. The new digital token circulates alongside the increasingly absent old physical token at first. Just as the old silver paper certificate could once be exchanged for a shiny 1 ounce silver dollar, the balance of digital dollars displayed on your phone banking app can today be redeemed at a commercial bank for one printed green napkin. So as long as that bank remains solvent or retains its depository insurance,
yeah,
right? So perfect
or
companion for any.
merge.
The napkin will still work when the power grid fails.
Yeah.
Okay, so advocates of CBDCs contend that these strictly centralized currencies are the realization of a bold new standard, not a gold standard or a silver standard or even a blockchain standard, but something like a spreadsheet standard. Unreal. And how secure is that? Opponents cite that
Yep.
the same purported safety and ease to argue that an e-dollar, say, is merely an extension to or financial manifestation of the ever encroaching surveillance state. To these critics, the method by which this proposal eradicates bankruptcy fallout and tax dodgers draws a bright red line under its deadly flaw. These only come at the cost of placing the state, newly privy to the use and custodianship of every dollar, at the center of monetary interaction. How do I highlight? You
Thanks.
at them and you type their names, I believe, if you to highlight in the chat.
Yep. At
So
like be the change. Yep.
again, Edward Snowden,
Yeah. Pretty much.
long, worth reading, talking about the history and right. So talking about would a CBDC be helpful to this person? Would an e-dollar improve their life more than a cash dollar would? Or in some stable coin or even an FDIC insured stable coin? Right? They're setting up all these scenarios. That's what he's setting up. And again, Your advice starts off slow, speeds up, is informative, full of delight, humor. And so now you can be a paid subscriber and support Edward Snowden.
Yep.
Please
I'll give
do.
him a couple coffee bucks.
So, yeah, you can subscribe. This is a Substack, so you can just add him to, if you're already a Substack subscriber to a bunch of different blogs like I am, you just add him to
Yeah.
your pile, and your credit card's already in there and everything else.